We're less than 2 weeks away from the first presidential debate between President Biden and Donald Trump, and both candidates are attending campaign events today. President Biden is attending an event in Virginia hosted by the state's former governor and DNC chairman Terry McAuliffe, and former President Bill Clinton and Hillary Clinton will be in attendance there as well. Meanwhile, Trump will speak at an event in Racine, Wisconsin, 5 days after he allegedly called Milwaukee a horrible city, a report he's since denied. Let's bring in CBS News chief election and campaign correspondent Robert Costa. Obviously following a lot of news today, Robert, with politics. Let's start with Trump and how today's rally in Wisconsin is being received.
Good to be with you. For former President Trump and for President Biden, Wisconsin is a crucial battleground, along with Michigan and Pennsylvania. That industrial Midwestern area of the country is a target for both parties at this time as the summer campaign kicks into gear, because they believe inside both campaigns that the working voter, perhaps a labor union member, may be susceptible to vote for either candidate this election. So you see former President Trump and President Biden, they keep going back to Detroit, to Philadelphia, to places like Racine, Wisconsin.
President Biden just came off the weekend from a massive fundraiser in Los Angeles. Now he's attending another one tonight. But critics on the right have been claiming that he's been looking stiff at some events recently. What are you hearing from your sources about this?
Most of my sources on the Democratic side are looking at the fundraising numbers. They look at $30 million for that Hollywood fundraiser, and they believe that is going to put President Biden in a commanding position when it comes to television and broadcast and digital advertising in the fall, because they really want to start to define former President Trump as a convicted felon. You see that in the Biden campaign's latest ad, and you're going to see a focus on American democracy and the perceived threat from the Democratic side that former President Trump is a threat to democracy as the summer advertising heats up. Yes, President Biden is 81 years old. Former President Trump, 78. So age has been a factor in conversations about this campaign. But when I'm on the campaign trail as a reporter for CBS, it's so evident, and our polling backs this up, that economic issues, inflationary pain, and American democracy, immigration and the border, these are the issues that are really dominating how voters perceive this election.
Well, Republican National Committee leaders are hosting a series of meetings around the country centered around protecting the vote. What can you tell us about that and how it's being received by Democrats?
Well, Democrats are on edge after what happened on January 6, 2021. But there is a sense of preparation in Democratic ranks that many Republicans are going to contest this election if former President Trump is defeated by President Biden this fall. There's an expectation that it will be fought in the courts once again, like it was in late 2020. And it could be fought on Capitol Hill with congressional objections. And there's no surprise among Democrats to see Republicans in a Trump-organized and Trump-dominated party to start these kind of efforts on watching the vote across the country. But as we saw in 2020, examples of voter fraud few and far between in this country, even though the allegations have been sweeping from some of the major candidates.
Robert, as we see sort of this flurry of primary activity today, are there a couple of races that we mentioned that you're watching especially closely?
You have to look at Trump-endorsed candidates across the board. Are they going to carry over? Bob Good does not have Trump's endorsement, but can he still win as a conservative, anti-establishment candidate in Virginia? And we see Trump having the full embrace of most of the Republican Party at this time, but always tracking how his candidates are doing, whether Trump's political capital can really carry over into some of these primary races. For Democrats, it's about whether the issue, like with the Vindman race, democracy can break through. President Biden has made it a focus, but will it be effective for Democrats in really carrying a general election vote? A lot of that remains to be seen. Some of the early tells we can see come from these primary races.
Robert Costa, always appreciate your analysis. Thank you.
Thank you.